Okay, so you have so much leverage over Zuko now, yet you're still helping him? What are you doing? What is happening there? You hired an assassin? What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben and today I'll be reacting to the Avatar The Last Airbender Season 3 Episode 2. Now I've just been thinking a lot about where this is going and now I'm so almost excited for like the Zuko angle. I've almost fixated on that a bit now because I was so annoyed with his just decline and his choice for the season final where he went back to his old ways, went back to Azula and is now back in the Fire Nation. He's basically gotten where he wanted to be. I thought season 2 was going to be almost him facing a choice whether or not to go back or turn good and be redeemed. And he went back. So now he's gotten sort of what he's been after for the entire show and it's still not enough for him and he's not feeling like he belongs. There's still stuff gnawing at him and I'm so interested about how that's going to get explored. So I'm very curious about that. Yeah, and then you have that whole Aang angle of everything and it feels, this season already, we've had one episode, it feels already so much more intense, so much more darker and serious in just everything they're doing. The world thinks Aang is dead and now he has to process that he's failed in the sense, like people think he's failed, which it can't sit right for him and it's such a big thing to ask for a kid, yet he's doing so well and I cannot wait to see where this is going because now it's leading up to the invasion of the Black Sun, which it can't go well. Azula has the plans for it after she invaded Ba Sing Se and the Fire Nation are planning for a huge army to attack them. But now it's just a small group that's doing it, and that can't be good. I mean, some ways it might be that it's smaller, so you might be able to get around certain things. But the Fire Nation are like preparing for a massive invasion. Surely a small group won't fare much better. Yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe as it really does help the channel to grow. And if you do enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, I have a Patreon. The link will be in the description. Over there I'm uploading these videos and the full reaction a week in advance. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. With that said, let's just dive on in. Is this what the Fire Nation looks like? That looks insane. Is it like just a giant volcano that they're sitting in? Can't sleep, huh? Okay, so already going back into the Zuko angle. This is what I'm loving so far. Well, we're so annoyed at you, but it seems like these things still aren't right. You're not happy. So what else do you need to resolve?
Who's there?
Okay, walking away. Okay, that seems weird and suspicious, but fine. We're just not going to report a weird cloaked man coming up to what looked like a very powerful fortress. Oh, you're hiding in a cloud. That's awesome. Okay, because they can't like travel with Appa out in the open now because they're fully in the Fire Nation.
We're in enemy territory. Those are enemy birds.
Oh dear. I don't think you have to worry about the birds. Okay, so he's being super paranoid. Got it. Makes sense. Enemy territory. Okay. How far is he going to go with this?
Hiding in cave after cave after cave after cave.
That's so depressing.
If we get Fire Nation disguises, we'll be just as safe as we would be hiding in a cave.
I mean, can they blend in that well? I mean, I like the show does a good job at showing the different, I think it's all Asian races, but they still visually look very different. Like Katara and Sokka, they're a lot darker than from what we've seen of the Fire Nation. Could they blend in?
I don't know about this.
You're just gonna go stealing all of it, aren't you?
I call the silk robe!
Yeah, okay. Are you seriously being this picky?
Ta-da! Normal kid.
And is the arrows covered up? Amazing.
But then he won't be able to see as well. Sorry, shoes!
Okay, I love that detail. So she's got just foot covers.
How do I look?
Great. Yep, blushing. Awesome.
Oh yeah. I guess it's pretty obviously Water Tribe, isn't it?
Yeah, only blue thing on you. Okay, so they are doing... That is a shame. So Aang has to cover up his arrow, Katara has to cover up the necklace. Okay, something there. Just accessorizing, cool. Yeah, Momo can be... No, okay, good. Hide the lemur.
So everyone just follow my lead and stay cool. Or, as they say in the Fire Nation, stay flamin'.
Okay, it feels a lot more... This isn't what I was expecting going into the Fire Nation, because we're right in the heart of it. Last episode was very serious, very dark and intense, but they were on the ocean. Now actually in the Fire Nation, and it feels light, it feels nice. It feels like the rest of the nations, even though this one is sort of the enemy. But of course, not all the Fire Nation are the enemy, just one, like, family is.
Hotman? Hotman?
This just seems awkward. And they're soldiers.
It couldn't be more obvious that you don't belong here.
Okay, what?
You might want to take off your school uniform.
Oh, great, you're wearing a school uniform. Oh, dummy. They must have great attendance records. Just police officers finding kids and shoving them back in schools.
Is this a new mind ready for molding?
That doesn't sound great.
You're not from the Fire Nation.
I knew it! Because look, he looks so much darker than everyone else here. They're so pale.
The colonies.
Yeah, the colonies, of course. The Fire
That
Nation
works.
colonies in the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah? Don't think Katara and Sokka look like the Earth Kingdom, though.
Like so.
Sorry, man.
Go along with it. Nice. Oh, the hand position wrong.
And we don't wear head coverings indoors.
Ah!
I have a scar. It's really embarrassing.
Very well.
Okay, there's some understanding there. That doesn't seem too bad.
Or, Kuzan.
Okay, using old friend's name, that works. Fire Nation name, perfect, you fit in. That's great. See, none of these kids are like evil. They're just in the Fire Nation. I wonder how much we're going to see of this. Because it doesn't feel like we're in the Fire Nation. It feels like regular.
My name's Anji. I like your headband, by the way.
Anji,
And just pushed aside.
I have to babysit the new kid.
Okay, no, you're darker, so maybe Sokka and Katara fit in fine then. So it isn't, I guess, just super pale everywhere.
Anji is my girlfriend. Don't forget it.
Oh, no, I was just thinking, don't try and airbend this guy or do something mean.
I don't believe it. He didn't beat you up. Not even a little.
That's normal.
We were on our way to play hide and explode. You want to come?
Wait,
love to.
what? Hide and explode? That doesn't sound great.
Where have you been? We've been worried sick.
I got invited to play with some kids after school.
Oh, it's not blood, it's dirt. If it looked like blood, there was a red hue to it.
I enrolled in a Fire Nation school. And I'm going back tomorrow.
Enrolled in what?
I love the panic on his face. It's such a stupid decision, but it worked fine. If anything, it'd be more suspicious if you just leave, because then the people will be looking for you. You have a record now.
Prince Zuko.
Ah, no! What are you doing?
Going in for a visit. You're gonna stand guard here, and no one is going to know about this.
Feels like a very bad decision. You're finally back and you're already causing bits of trouble, making guards like you. Is it Iroh? You? Oh, what have they been doing to you? I don't like seeing him like this, no.
It's me.
You still can't look at him. He's still so disappointed in Zuko.
We got our outfits. What do you need to go to school for?
Because he's wearing a school uniform and it really sets off some red flags there.
I already have a picture of Fire Lord Ozai. And here's one that I made out of noodles.
Seeing his face everywhere now.
I guess we'll never find out about the secret river then.
He looks so weird with hair. It does not look right. He needs to shave it off, but he can't shave it off. Can you wear a hat?
Fine. Let's stay a few more days.
Flameo, Hotman!
Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. If you disappeared, it wouldn't go well, and they'd probably start looking for you. They have a record of a child now.
We could have returned together. You could have been a hero.
Okay, still stupid.
You have no right to judge me, Uncle. I did what I had to do in Ba Sing Se.
I don't think he's judging you. He just can't stand to look at you. He's just sad, isn't he?
Crazy! And if you weren't in jail, you'd be sleeping in a gutter.
I hate this so much. I hate this. I don't like that. Why is that why? I just want them to be happy.
With my hands, I fight for Fire Lord
Fire Lord, forefathers.
Okay, this is definitely getting into the more, I guess, propaganda style of things then.
Blah, 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 blah.
Shut up, you could just mouth the words.
What year did Fire Lord Sozin battle the Air Nation Army?
100 years ago.
Is that a trick question? The Air Nomads didn't have a formal military. Sozin defeated them by ambush.
You should have answered that. No.
Possibly no more than our national history book. Unless you were there 100 years ago.
Idiot.
I'll just write down my best guess.
How is that? How is no one finding that more suspicious? Yeah, no, way out of place.
That hullabaloo going on with your feet. Is that a nervous disorder?
Your head is massive.
You do dances here in the homeland, right?
Dancing is not conducive to a proper learning environment.
So not fun? I mean, I don't like dancing, but still.
You may march in place quietly next time the urge hits you.
Okay, this is fun. Okay, I like that we're seeing that it start off fun. Now we're going to see sort of what the Fire Nation is doing to its youth and how they're destroying their spirit and souls and just filling them with information about the Fire Nation. So I guess that might have just been a history lesson. It could have been other stuff, which technically is true history. I know, because what would their history be? Because they thought that the Aang's history was wrong.
You're gonna show her something?
Just some dance movements.
Nobody shows my Anji anything.
You're an idiot. Okay, nice. I love this. He's still technically not really airbending. He's using his sort of training to avoid fighting. And you won, and you didn't even touch him. It's not going to look like that, is it?
A conference to discuss your punishment. Bring your
Fine, it
parents to
looked
my
like
office
it.
after school.
Parents?
Great. That's great. That's perfect. Now, I think now is the good time to leave then.
Thank you for coming, Mr. and Mrs. Fire! Wang fire!
You bunch of idiots, what are you doing? You could have just left.
Sapphire Fire, nice to meet you.
What are these names?
He's argued with his history teacher, disrupted music class, and roughed up my star pupil.
Really? That was just star people.
Sound like our cou's on.
That's what any mother would say, ma'am. Nonetheless.
Okay, they're doing a pretty good job.
For time, I'll have him sent to reform school, by which I mean the coal mines.
Okay, yeah, things aren't good here.
Young man, as soon as we get home, you're gonna get the punishment of a lifetime.
They're really selling the act, aren't they? Okay, that went well, but I think it's time to leave.
You're so beautiful when you hate the world.
I don't hate you.
I don't hate you too.
They are actually really good together. Wow. They just hate everything.
Could I have a word with you?
Can't you see we're busy?
Ty Lee needs your help untangling her braid.
Sounds pretty serious.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So she... There's like... they're fighting over May, basically. She wouldn't do what Azula said for a minute. That's interesting.
What is it that you want, Azula?
Actually, nothing. Believe it or not, I'm looking out for you.
Why?
Doubt you've been to see Uncle? They'll think you're plotting with him.
What are you plotting? Okay, so you have so much leverage over Zuko now, yet you're still helping him? What are you doing?
No more school for you, young man.
I'm having fun for once.
No,
Just
no,
being a
no.
normal kid.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that after everything's done.
You get to be normal all the time.
Ha!
I wouldn't call him normal.
If we want to change this place for the better, we need to show them a little taste of freedom.
One school? That's not going to do a lot. How big is the population?
I'm gonna throw them a secret dance party.
Go to your room.
Yeah, I'm with Sokka. This is a bad idea. Wait, are you using your cave?
But as a cultural event, celebrating the art of fancy footwork.
I mean, I get what he's trying to do. He wants to try and give some life back to these people that have basically been drained of it by the Fire Nation. Try and change them to make a better future. But it's one class, and you have a very important mission to do. If you get caught, everything's over. It don't matter how much spirit you put in these kids.
Ladies and gentlemen!
Still feels very stiff. Not one person moving.
This is when you start dancing.
I don't think my parents want me dancing in a cave.
Oh, just hiding in your collar.
What if someone finds out?
Will they seriously be punished for dancing like this? What is this country like?
It's a form of self-expression that no one can ever take away from you.
It seems like there might be punishments for it, though.
It just so happens that I know several classic Fire Nation dances.
Why would you know that if you're from the Earth Kingdom?
Explain.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's impressive to them. Cool.
Who knew Twinkle Toes could dance?
Where's he going? He's just flipping around the place.
I brought you some Komodo chicken. I know you don't care for it, but I figure it beats prison food.
You're being nice now, are you?
I have everything I always wanted, but it's not at all how I thought it would be.
Yes.
I need your advice. I think the Avatar is still alive.
You still need... Well, I thought he really wants that.
Please, Uncle, I'm so confused. I need your help.
Is he not going to help you?
I'll solve this myself. Waste away in here for all I care.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. But Iroh says he wouldn't help even when he was asked. And he's... What? Oh... What is happening there? I would have thought Iroh would have jumped at the chance to be, like, wanted by his nephew. Zuko is actually struggling and asked for help. That's, like, a big thing in itself. It's not the pride thing. He's confessing that he's got issues and he's telling Iroh them. Yeah, Iroh's not doing anything? I'm sure he has his reason. I just don't know what it is.
That's it. That's the sound of happy feet.
Okay, dancing, cool. So they're starting. People are being lively and happy. Awesome. I never liked dancing. I've been described as dancing like a puppet. So yeah, that's not my thing.
I don't know, Aang. These shoes aren't really right for dancing.
Oh, come on, just dance. They're gonna steal the show, aren't they? They're gonna have a moment. Yep, everyone stopped looking around at them. I'm wondering, there's a blushing moment. Is this is season 3 now, and they've always had this little relationship. Is this season gonna like go full in with the whole Katara Aang thing? It's going to, isn't it? Yeah, it's going further into their relationship. Okay, that looked like he take a head off. It's a very violent dance. I love that this is all animated, and that's just impressive to me. They're animating so much like dancing and movement. Nothing's still. All the fabric looks amazing. Like the hair as well. It's not just Katara's braid. She actually has a full hair down, and that's all being animated.
It is a dancing party. You did the right thing by telling me, Hide.
Anytime, Headmaster, sir.
Idiot. And they have police here. They play army, whatever, they're soldiers. What, they've got them here to take care of kids having a party?
He's the one we want. The boy with the headband.
Oh, great. One determining factor. You got it. And you can't even get rid of it, can you?
Gotcha.
No.
For me?
Oh.
That's not the one. He's
Yeah.
here somewhere. Don't let him leave the cave.
Did they he couldn't have gotten away with his headbands. Were other people wearing headbands?
Yes.
Oh, they're actually all protecting him. I wonder if they would do this if they knew he was the Avatar. How loyal are they to the Fire Nation since they are children? Ooh, was that him?
Searching for someone?
No, okay, you've lost him.
Who are you looking for? Do you need something? Over here.
That's pretty amazing. He's managed to get all of them onto basically the Avatar's side. And letting them escape. That is crazy. And they're not going to think any... Yeah! And, okay, even they started dancing. But yeah, so, okay, a little bit of earthbending exposed, and they didn't say anything. That could be really cool.
It's permanently glued to my skin.
Idiot!
I think you really did help those kids. You taught them to be free.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It was just a dance party, that's all.
I really want to know if they ratted on the old earthbending thing.
Flamey-o,
that-
sir. Flamey-o.
They're definitely focusing more on that relationship. That's going to get much more time, isn't it? What are you doing now? This is a new place. What are you up to?
They say you're good at what you do, and even
What?
better at keeping secrets. The Avatar's alive.
Does he have a metal hand? What is that? You hired an assassin? What's with the third eye? What are you doing? Oh, Zuko, why are you being so stupid? Oh, great. So without Iroh's guidance, he's gone and hired an assassin with a weird third eye, metal hand and leg. Okay, I think this episode followed perfectly from the last. The last one, it felt so it was serious and more dark, and that was like setting up the tone for this season. This one, it felt closer to some of the old episodes being more fun focused, yet it kept the sort of intensity and seriousness of the first episode. It kept that tone going. Seeing how the Fire Nation's basically draining the life from all the young people, crushing their spirit, and basically turning them into perfect soldiers and workers. They're not going to have free thought, they're just going to go along with what the Fire Nation tells them. Perfect propaganda. Yet here we got to see Aang not just win in the sense of fighting, but he's won in the sense that he's encouraged the youth of the next generation to live a bit more, to think, I guess, almost freer. You even had that, I really want to know at the end, would he have ratted them out seeing the earth bending? Would that maybe think, oh, they're earthbending? I mean, they wouldn't think Avatar because he said he was from the Earth Nation colonies. So maybe, oh, earthbender, or like, I want to know if he didn't say that. I think that'd be amazing, and if he just kept that hidden, because then it's that next step of not just letting them get away, but also realizing that he may have just committed a crime to his country, and then it's seeing that it's not that bad, and he's still a person, and they could still get along with people that aren't part of the Fire Nation. Yeah, we're seeing the Fire Nation as a whole in this episode. Amazing. Loved that sort of this tone it gave. It didn't feel like we were watching this evil nation. It felt like we were watching any other country that we've seen throughout the season, like throughout the show. It felt nice, felt calm. The architecture. I love that there was that one shot where I'm sure they built a city inside a volcano. I was wondering how they're going to incorporate like elements into the architecture, because that's what they did with the North Pole, that's what they did with the Earth Nation, and the Fire Nation have just built their whole city on top of I would assume, dormant volcano. I'd hope it's a dormant volcano, but that is so cool as well, because like, you can't really build buildings out of fire. You can build it out of ice and earth, but you can't build it out of fire. And I think building on top of a volcano is as close as you can get. Yeah, they also focused a lot on Aang and Katara's sort of relationship, because that's always been there since the start of the show, but it's not really had that much to it. You had, I think, the fortune teller, that was a big part of it, basically saying that Katara would end up with a powerful bender, meaning Aang, hopefully. And it basically went very quiet for a long time. It had some stuff in season 2, but season 2 is basically just focusing on how Katara was Aang's anchor. And that was basically it, and almost as if she was holding him back from being the Avatar. So now it is fully sort of getting, so it's not just what she is to the Avatar, it's what she is to Aang now. So we are fully getting that whole sort of romantic relationship explored more. And being in episode 2, because there's only one season left. So if they are going to do it, I hope that they fully go into it in this season. And start with episode 2, amazing. That means they've got so many episodes where they can keep going with it. Yeah, and then you have Zuko and Iroh's story, which absolutely interesting. I've got to say, there's a lot going on with it. There was so much in, like, you have the whole Aang side of thing, which is fun. You had the intensity, but Zuko's had so much, and he had like he had a little amount of screen time, I'd say. Each of his scenes were very short. But you had the stuff with Azula and May. That seems interesting in the sense that it almost looked like Azula and May were Azula and Zuko were fighting over May. Azula wanted to talk to Zuko alone and wanted that alone time. Zuko denied it, so it's almost, she's not getting her way. Then she managed to get May to leave by talking about Ty Lee and that little group, and that's what did it. It felt very weird, and that felt confusing. And then Azula's also protecting Zuko as well from the whole Iroh, so she's got more leverage on him, yet she's still helping him. She's definitely doing something evil, and she's probably waiting for something, and I don't know what, and that's very worrying to me. Then Iroh, who I hate seeing like this, he looks so depressed and unhappy, and his hair is all like raggedy, and he does not look like how he should. He was so happy at the end of season 2. Now this is where he is, stuffed in a prison, looks dreadful, and he didn't even speak. He can't even look at Zuko. And there was so much they did with that. Zuko went to him, first off just started yelling at him. Fully understand if Iroh didn't want to talk then. But then it was basically seeing the development come back from season 1 and 2. Zuko broke down, I guess. He wasn't being stubborn or prideful. He asked for help. He asked Iroh for the help, said he was struggling, said the Avatar's probably alive and that he's going insane. Iroh did nothing. He was just silent, and he just left. He just let Zuko just yell and do whatever, but he didn't try to help him. And then he started crying. I'm assuming, I don't know what. I would almost assume that he doesn't want. He probably wants to help. He's just not letting himself help. Maybe he's realised that there's nothing he can do to get Zuko on the right path. Maybe he's realised that Zuko has to do it himself, and that no matter what Iroh tries to do, it's not going to work. So he has to stop himself from trying to help because he knows Zuko has to do it by himself. It looks so painful. I love how they're doing it. Just silence and just seeing the tear come off Iroh's face. I want this man to be happy. The show better end with him being happy. I'll be so annoyed if something happens to him. And then the last thing, you have this weird assassin come out of nowhere. He's got I don't know if it's just the light. It looks grey and shiny. He had a metal leg and, I want to say claw. His hand looked weird. He looks huge and massive. But so Zuko's busy hiring this guy to go after Aang and try and kill him. That's going to be fun to deal with. So they're being chased again. But then how's this guy going to find Aang? That seems like a difficult task to begin with. But then you also have the weird tattoo on his face. So who knows what that's about. But he seems weird. He's got a metal hand and foot. And I mean, it seems like a good assassin, but a lot of weird stuff about him. I'm guessing whatever action he has, that'll be quite interesting to see. Yeah, the camera really liked focusing on the tattoo though. We haven't seen that, and tattoos really mean something. You have the Air Nation tattoo, and you have this tattoo thing. So that'll be cool for whatever meaning that has. Okay, a lot to unpack with that one. I like that it sort of goes back to where season 1 and 2 were, where you had the two sides of the story each episode, where you've got Aang's whatever he's doing on one side of the episode, Zuko on the other. It reminds me back to that. And yeah, I felt, yeah, back at the start, when they did that type of story, they both felt very different. Aang's more the fun side of things, Zuko is much more intense and serious. Here, it does feel like that, but it does feel like they've gotten closer. Aang's definitely taken on a more mature, serious side of things, seeing the propaganda that's going on in the school, and then Zuko's kind of stayed the same, being miserable, and sort of him being more serious and dark, so that's stayed the same, but they have gotten closer together, and I do like that as the sort of seasons progressed. It just shows that Aang is getting more mature, that his storyline is sort of getting closer to where Zuko's is. So just looking at Aang's side of the story, I love that we've gotten to see him take on a more mature role and more mature storylines, yet him still being the same 12-year-old, the same sort of impulsive, has to keep moving sort of kid. I love that that's sort of stayed consistent. I do love how fast he thinks on his feet, and that he's used his old friend's name to sort of hide his identity, and he's actually managed to use the knowledge he has from back when he was like, when this place was almost good to be in, and he's used that to try and work his way and just stay here, and he's almost bringing sort of that ancient stuff that he remembers back to how it is back to now, the present. So he's trying to sort of bridge the gap that's happened over the 100 years. I do like that they're also focusing more on the Aang and Katara relationship, because that's something that was built right. It was built into the very first episode. It was him. He saw Katara and then basically invited her on a date. That was the whole first thing. Then you had the fortune teller basically saying they're gonna end up being together. That was destined. Then you had stuff in season 2, and now they're finally going into it more in the sense of a relationship, not just being the spiritually connected through the Avatar anchor thing. So it's far more intimate, I'd say, and it looked like we're going more into the romantic aspects of the relationship, which I'm really happy about, because they didn't do a lot with it season 1, season 2, and now it looks like they're finally realising that if you want to get it done by the end of the show, it needs to be sort of picked up now, which I'm so happy that we've gotten to see it already season 2, because that means in episode 2, because that just means that going further we should see it more, and we're getting to see their relationship sort of take a lot more focus, which I just want. Yeah, Zuko's story is very confused. No, it's interesting to me, and it takes a lot of thought to try and figure out where he's at. So because I thought maybe his development was all thrown away after his betrayal, but he's still got his sort of pride. No, he's lost his pride. That's still gone, and he's lost his stubbornness. But because he broke down to Iroh and asked for help, that shows to me that he's not the same person he was when he went on the boat trip. So he's still got what he's learned. He's just made some stupid decisions. I think one of the main aspects of where he is now is that he has gotten exactly what he wanted, but he couldn't be more alone. He can't trust Azula. His father is distant, I guess. We haven't seen him in this episode. Last one, he said he was proud. But again, there's not really a relationship there for Zuko to go to. Iroh is now shunning him, so he feels completely alone and I'd say desperate. He's hired an assassin, so he seems like on edge. And he's paranoid. So I do like that the show's basically given him everything he's wanted since season 1. He's got his honor back, he's gotten his family back, yet he's still not happy. He thought he would do all this stuff. He's finally achieved his goal, yet it's just not done it for him. And he's realised that there's still something missing. And hopefully that will come sooner rather than later. I still feel like the assassin thing is throwing me, because it's still a really bad thing to do. He's hired an assassin of all things. So that is worrying for where he's at. It feels like he's definitely still in conflict with himself. He's wobbling back and forth between being on a good path of redemption and going backwards. And it feels like there still isn't a set direction for him to go. It feels like he could fall back with the Fire Nation, with the whole assassin thing, yet he still wants Iroh's, I guess, approval or just advice. He still wants something from Iroh. That is the good thing. That longing that he wants for that connection with his uncle, that is what can drive him back to the light. But yeah, Iroh, I think his entire scene was absolutely amazing. Just seeing him in his cell, there wasn't a word spoken from him. I don't know if that's because the voice actor passed away and they were maybe on a schedule, I don't know. But I would like that this was an artistic decision, that they kept him silent, because it's very meaningful that he just couldn't look at Zuko at all or speak to him. We saw that at the end of season 2, where he was captured in the crystal or whatever, and he just turned his head away. It was at that moment that he would not talk to Zuko. So you have to assume that that's been going on. He just hasn't talked to him since, which must have been driving Zuko crazy. But it's also a bad thing in the sense it's let Zuko cling to more Fire Nation people and bad influences. So it's still a bad thing is there, and he's no longer just got Iroh, and that Iroh is now distancing himself from Zuko, that he doesn't have that support. So it almost feels like Zuko's just going to crumble, and he does need Iroh. He can't be without him. Yeah, Iroh's motivation for that scene, I'm trying to figure out what it could be. I would assume it's Iroh basically realising that there's no helping Zuko. He's not giving up on him, but he's realising that Zuko has to help himself. Iroh can try all he wants to try and change him, but it's not going to work unless Zuko actually wants to change. And I think that's the biggest part. At no point in season 2 did he actually have a desire to want to change. There was that bit with Appa, but again, that was with Iroh's encouraging. It wasn't fully Zuko's decision. He still had external influences. Nothing so far has actually been a Zuko-led decision to want to change. He's always been driven by the honor thing, and to get back to the Fire Nation and be back as the prince. Everything else has been Iroh in his ear telling him what he should be as well. It wasn't Zuko's decision. It was basically in his mind. It was Ozai's picture of him compared to Iroh's picture of him. Nothing was ever Zuko's choice. So I think Iroh has actually realised that now. He's taking a step back and realising he's got to be quiet. He's got to let Zuko fall off this foundation, because he knows that there's no foundation under Ozai, so it's going to fall and going to collapse. Everything he has is going to be destroyed and taken from him, and he's not going to have Iroh to cling to. At that point, he'll be at rock bottom, and he's got to really think about where he needs to go. And at that point, he can finally be redeemed. And it's so hard to watch Iroh have to stay silent, because you know he wants to talk and he wants to be there for his nephew. He's basically his son at this point. And just seeing him cry is just so painful. Because it's just, he wants to help, but he knows he can't. Azula's a very tricky person to think about. If we've seen episode 1, she's helping Zuko and she's giving him the credit, which is honestly a very big thing. I don't know where she's at. That's what's bugging me. She is a manipulative, scheming sociopath, yet for some reason, she's decided to help Zuko. And it could be because she doesn't think, she could just be protecting herself. She thinks, she is like iffy about whether Aang is alive, so give all of that credit to Zuko. So if he does turn out to be alive, then Zuko's done, she becomes Fire Lord or next in line to the throne. But then if Aang is dead, which you'd think she'd be confident in her own ability to kill Aang after what she did. She shot him in the back with lightning. She should be pretty confident that he's dead. So it must have taken a lot of decision to decide that, okay, no, I'm not going to take the credit now and be in my father's good graces. I'm going to let Zuko take the credit and then he will inevitably fall. That's a lot of faith to put in the Avatar being alive. And then, again, you have this whole thing where she knows that Zuko has been going to Iroh and is still hiding it. She's still helping him and protecting him. Is that just because she wants him to stick around long enough so that when Avatar eventually comes back, she can pin the blame on him and that she's still fine? Because she goes and tells Ozai about Zuko meeting with Iroh. He gets kicked out again, but then Zuko still has the credit for the Avatar thing. And then she doesn't get any of the credit, but she's still kind of in the good graces. But then if Avatar comes back and Zuko has no fault, then Zuko's expelled. And I guess it doesn't involve Azula at all in that way. She just picks up the pieces and takes what's left of her father's attention. She's just very weird, and I have no idea how to understand what she does. I do think, though, that May might be drifting a little bit from Azula. There's that one scene where Zuko and May were having a picnic, and Zuko basically told her to get lost. But Azula still sort of has control over everything and told May to go and help Ty Lee, who I'm guessing was a blatant lie, hair tied up or whatever. So she still managed to get May to leave for no apparent reason. And I don't know if that's... it might not be May drifting. That probably is just... Because like May is very drawn to, I'd assume, Azula, but then she's also now drawn to Zuko. You have two people who are definitely at odds, and you have May in between them now. So she definitely has love for, I don't know, love, maybe like, it's a relationship, we haven't seen much of it. She's got that for Zuko there, but she also has whatever's going on with her and Azula, and she's definitely being pulled between these different ways. And then you have Azula and Zuko fighting over who gets to say what and who has control over things. So that feels like it's a whole nother kind of can of worms that is yet to explode. Then the most, weird thing about this episode, Assassin. He looked huge. He has a metal arm and a metal foot. Haven't seen that before. And because there's no metal benders that anyone knows about apart from Toph. So this guy has gotten very good craftsman. This guy's gotten very good craftsmen to build him metal appendages. But then that makes me wonder, what can they do? Is it just to balance, maybe? Because, can the hand actually move? What? I don't know. How advanced is their technology here? It's very I don't get why they would put the metal stuff there. What is it meant to do? Is it just meant to terrify me? Because if then, that's working. Then you had the face tattoo thing with the third eye. Is that, some weird spiritual nonsense as well? Is that linking back to Aang and the spiritual... stuff there? Because it's a third eye. I'm not sure what is I don't know about that stuff and third eye-ness, but he has one. It's sideways, and it makes me think of the air nomads and their tattoos. Is there a relationship between their spirituality of the third eye and the spirituality of the air nomads? Is that something? Yeah, now you got this guy coming after Aang, and so this guy must be capable then, because he's been sent specifically to go after an avatar who has he's mastered one element, he's learning two, so this guy must be pretty powerful in whatever it is he does. Then I also did think it was cool seeing how the schools operate and are just shoving propaganda to the children. So that is... Because, the Fire Nation itself, it seemed like kind of a nice place. It seemed like basically where it felt like every other city. It felt like seeing the normal populace doing their day-to-day life didn't feel very evil. Yet when you got to the school, it started off nice and pleasant, seeing like any other school. Then you got into how they're shaping the children and basically turning them into the perfect citizens, unquestioning, undyingly loyal, that sort of thing. filling their minds with the idea that their leaders are amazing, that they cannot be faulted, and that they're also not to have any freedom or be able to think for themselves. They can only think what the school tells them, and they cannot express anything that could go against that. So I love the depiction of that, and it felt very, I guess it felt natural in a way. It didn't seem like anyone was fighting against it, and it felt something that it was very real. Yeah, I think I just like how it was demonstrated, how all the students were very much on board with it because that's all they had learnt, and there wasn't much fighting it. And because that's how easy it is when you get a population's children under your control. There is no fighting it because their children are basically just empty little vessels and who are desperate to be filled with knowledge. And when you control that knowledge and it's not free for the individual to find their own conclusions, they become identical, and that's what you saw here. You just become mindless drones. So I really like how this sort of presented that, and it makes the Fire Nation seem a whole lot darker when you look deeper into it. Lastly, I think I really did like the tone of this episode. It felt more lighter than the last one, but yet it still kept the seriousness and intensity of what I would assume this season is now doing, being the Fire Nation, being the heart of everything. I assume there isn't much more super levity or super light episodes coming, because we're in the heart of the thing that's doing all the evil. I assume we're going really deep into all the disasterness stuff of everything. So I do like that this one brings it back to how Avatar sort of feels. It was that light comedy silliness. They're children after all, yet it still captures on to the severity of the storyline. But yeah, looking forward to sort of where this will go now, because again, this is right at the start of the season. I think they're doing an incredible job at setting up what the season is meant to feel like, and we're still stuck in the Fire Nation and trying, because Aang still has to learn firebending. There's been no indication that's coming. In season 2, they talked about finding an earthbender right from the start. Now, that's not even been discussed. We had a little bit about the chakras with Guru Patik, and Aang basically accepting that he does need to learn it, and he wasn't just avoiding it now, and he wasn't going to ban himself from it. So at least we have that, but that's it. We haven't had any sort of sign that he's going to try and find a master. Yeah, then we got the Day of Black Sun. You have the tiny army, and so Sokka and everyone's separated from the father and that whole little army. So yeah, it feels like they've still got to build up a lot to the Day of Black Sun. And so I guess they're traveling to, where are they traveling to? Maybe I would assume the capital of the Fire Nation. This clearly wasn't it. But yeah, I think it'll just be interesting seeing where they go and what sort of things they can find along the way going through the Fire Nation like this. So yeah, with that said, that does bring me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one for Season 3, Episode 3. See ya!